What's up, guys? So, finally, we have a little bit of news, right? Coming from Steve Myers at iRacing. And it concerns the Xfinity series, right? So, if you've been wondering um, whether or not we're going to have other series in the game, I would say 95% yes, right? The reason I'm not saying it's 100% confirmed is because it's still early. We're going to read some of the posts from Steve Myers. I'll tell you what I think. Um, but in either case, I think we should be somewhat excited about where things are headed, right? So you have colleague that posted some of his stuff, but it started with this post here about 23 hours ago. Steve Myers has been running a physics prototype build for the last hour for NASCAR 25, and I can't stop smiling. I can confidently tell you if you liked what we did with our World of Outlaws game driving model, you're going to enjoy this. Going to tell the wife I have to work some more tonight now, right? I can't speak on World of Outlaws. Don't know anything about it. I haven't played it. You guys who have played it, only you can tell me, right? But I can say that for the most part, everything I've heard about World of Outlaws has been positive. So I'm going to lean on the side of this being positive news, right? Unless some people come out and say, hey, I played World of Outlaws, it's crap or whatever, which I haven't seen. This sounds good, right? So here's some of the other posts. So far, I've tried Atlanta, Bristol, Charlotte, and Homestead, and they all feel great. I'm just on track with AI cars, no aids, and using a gamepad, and it's fun to drive and learn how to modulate the throttle. I wrecked quite a bit at Bristol, to be fair. And I seriously only intended to tease you guys that I played the prototype. So it's an early build, right? It's a beta, right? So I don't even know if you call it a beta at this stage. It's probably not even a beta, but in either case, he's just letting you know it's just a prototype. It's not anything complete or near completion, right? Let's see. But I'm legitimately having fun playing it. I just switched to the Xfinity car. So this is the big news right here. He's talking about Xfinity car, which is confirmation that they do plan on having the Xfinity series in the game. Haven't heard anything about truck, but at least we know that their intentions are to release a game that isn't only a cup game, right? That has a lower series. Maybe it's only Xfinity, maybe it's also truck. I don't know how far this is going to go, but when I tell you that it's their intent, what I mean by that is it's early. It's real early. There's a lot left. So when you're developing a game, I'm no expert, but if I was a developer, you have a list of priorities, right? Things that you prioritize. What's in terms of importance, right? What's the most important thing we must have in the game? And then you create a list. And I can almost guarantee you that having the Xfinity series in the game is not going to be at the very top of the list, right? You want to make sure that you have a complete, fleshed out product. So that means making sure you have the Cup Series and all of the, accompanying tracks. And everything else that you're hoping to have as part of the game in terms of like a career mode and all this other stuff. That is at the very top of your list. Then, if time permits, resources permits, if you can work into the game adding things, then I would say that Xfinity, truck, that kind of stuff, that's going to be just below that, right? Doesn't mean it's last on your priority list, but it's not at the very top. So the fact that they already have a drivable Xfinity model Um, it just proves that, yes, they're working on that. So why am I so confident about this? Is because what, like I just told you, right? There's a list of priorities. If you're working on like having that model for the Xfinity cars and making sure that works with the physics and all that, why would you spend time and resources on that, on, if you're still working on more important stuff? So what this leads me to believe is they're very confident in the direction they're going and the pace that this development's going. Otherwise, they probably would be like, we're too far behind on the cup stuff. We're not ready to even think about Xfinity or truck, right? We don't know anything about truck, but he just told you he's driven the Xfinity prototype, right? We're still about a year away. So that to me is a really good sign. I talk a lot about red flags. This is a green flag, right? I'm making that up, but this is actually something that's good to hear, right? Now, the other thing could be is that maybe they're not so smart. Maybe they're not anywhere near on the pace they want to be, and they're just like, well, let's also work on this Xfinity car, and we're just going to take our chances. That takes away time and resources from the more important stuff that, like I said, that you should have priorities, right? That's also a possibility that they could be doing that. That would be actually not good. But I'm leaning towards these guys are smarter than that. They can't be this dumb. So I'm leaning towards this is good news. That this actually means they are everything's on schedule, so to speak. So yeah, this is, like I said, I would say 95% confirmation. Xfinity's in. What could be the holdup, right? If there is a problem, right? What could that problem be? The only thing for me, it would be the tracks, right? We know Xfinity runs a few tracks that's not part of the Cup Series. So if you're going to have a Xfinity Series in the game, you got to have those tracks. That's the only caveat to the whole development thing, right? But I am confident. I think that I think things are going to work out. But this is really good news. So let me read the rest of this before I say anything else. Just switched to the Xfinity car, and I'm thrilled to tell you it feels so different than the Cup car. So he's acknowledging that it's way different. So you're not going to get this thing where it's like, oh, all the models feel the same. It's just different in name only, right? No. They're putting in the extra work. They're making sure that the cars don't feel anything alike. Again, it's iRacing. A lot of the people that did develop NASCAR 2003 season, the PC sim. So this is all good news. I do have confidence that they are checking off all those boxes, the details, right? This is real good to hear that it's different. And you want those differences. So you can tell the guys didn't just build a Cup model and detune it for the Xfinity car. It feels completely different and captures that same level of character difference of the same cars of iRacing. And things will only get better. So yeah, we're still almost a year away. To hear that he's already playing a prototype of the Xfinity on, he said, Atlanta, Bristol, Charlotte, Homestead. The development is, I would say, I shouldn't say anything because I really don't know. They might be missing a bunch of shit, but it sounds good. That they're in a stage where they're actually racing AI with no aids, using a gamepad. Yeah, I'm excited about this. This is good. Let me see what else. All right, this same thing that I read. this is good. And, I posted this. This is how I'm feeling. I think it's safe to be excited, knowing there's still a whole year of development, right? Well, I shouldn't say a whole year because, yeah, if they're going to release the game in sometime in the fall, yeah, then it's less than a year, but still, there's still a lot of time to button everything up. So I'm excited. Let's see what people think. Let's see. Please, somebody wanted a screenshot. So I would have told you it's too early, and he's going to tell you this here. This is not the build to do that in. It is specifically used for this purpose, so graphics are not worthy of being shown. The assets of the track and all this stuff, I'm sure, are not even finished. I would guess that when they're developing the tracks, the first thing they work on is the actual racing surface, the track itself. All of the assets around the track, the infield, the stands, the graphics, the details, that's going to be last. So it sounds to me like he's playing the game, but it's probably not something you want people to see because it's just not, it's not going to impress you, right? So I'm not surprised about this at all. It's early. Graphics are not worthy of being shown. It also does not have all the sound yet, so it would not come across well. We have a full plan to release content as we get closer to release. I told you guys the last time I talked about the development of this game that I would, if I was guessing, you would probably see something maybe before Daytona 500, around that time. So that's still months and months away, but by then you should be able to show something that gives people a really good idea of what this game is going to be like. It's way too early. Even to show screenshots, yeah, I agree. I wouldn't show any of that stuff until I knew I was this close to something that is going to be a very accurate representation of what you're going to get. All right, let's see. I don't see anything else here. Again, I don't know much about World of Outlaws. Here's JC. The cars do drive nice in the new Outlaws game, but it's on dirt. I expect the Xfinity car to drive off the right rear like that, but not the Cup car. Curious about the comparison. I agree. So, yeah, I don't know much about the Outlaw game, but I hear good things. I haven't really looked deep into it, to be honest, but it's been mostly positive. Yeah, I don't see anything else worth covering here. But that's pretty much it. I just wanted to give you guys my thoughts on this. This is, early. But, man, it is exciting to know they are actively trying to get that Xfinity series in the game. Like I said, I really think it's going to be in the game. But I can't with 100% certainty say it will because we don't know, right? They have to add all of the Xfinity tracks, right, to make that happen. It could be that they're just working on the physics model for Xfinity Cup, the Xfinity series, and then say, well, if for some reason we fall behind on development or things like we hit a snag, then you have to focus all of your effort on Cup. If you want this game to come out on time and deliver what you want it to deliver, the Cup Series obviously and everything else around surrounding the game has to come first. So there is a chance. That's why I said 95%, because there is a small chance that they hit a snag in development, things get delayed, it happens all the time, and then they have to make a decision and say, well, if in order for us to deliver what we want to deliver in terms of quality by this, target date, we may have to push aside Xfinity. And maybe we just continue working on this post-release and get it in on the next game. Or, I shouldn't say this but DLC. We don't know if they have plans to just say we're going to add this through DLC and charge extra. You never know. I didn't want to put that out there, but that's a possibility. Just because he's playing an early prototype, there's no 100% certainty this is going to be in the game. I'm sure they're trying to get it in the game, but you never know. You never know if they're trying to say, well, we're setting this up for DLC. Maybe a couple months after we release NASCAR 25, boom, we drop the DLC for the Xfinity and all that other shit. Like, I hope that's not the case, but I'm being real with you guys. You can't, like I said, I'm fairly certain this is coming, but anything's possible. So, I look forward to your comments later, guys.
Bye.